Dear listeners, good morning once again, and it's still your program Science World. And this morning, I have captioned it the eighth wonder of the world. In the house with me, like I said, I have a woman of many parts. She is an architect, she's a writer, she's a social crusader, she's very good with the children. What else can I add? Please welcome with me Olaboludele Simoyan. Good morning.
Good morning.
And I have mentioned all the parts. What role did architecture play in writing the book I have right in front of me?
The role that architecture played in writing the book, I guess the fact that...
Because that was where it started from. You're an architect.
Yes, I'm an architect. Well, I got tired of the way things were in this country and decided that I could do something about it, and I decided to write a book. And I decided to write not just a book, but to make it a creative book.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's actually a two-in-one book. I mean, the first portion says the eighth wonder, and the other side is also the eighth wonder of the world made in Nigeria. Why not two books? Why one book as two? Why not two different books?
Well, the first book is actually the eighth wonder of the world made in Nigeria.
Okay.
The second book is the eighth wonder of the world made in Nigeria.
Okay.
Now, I thought the idea of putting two books in one was that I wanted immediately you come in contact with the book, it begins to challenge your basic assumptions. We need to begin to think out of the box in solving Nigeria's problems. We need to begin to think back, not outside, far away from the box.
Okay.
And that's why I decided to put two books in one. The first book actually is about where we are now, what things we're doing, or what we can do to fix the things that we're doing. Then the second book is basically the vision. It's the eighth wonder vision.
Okay.
Where we're going to, our future. Like a coin has two sides. That's exactly what I've done with the book.
Interesting. Sorry, I had to start with a book.
Okay.
But can my listeners get to know you? Of course, I mean, we both left this great institution, the nation's pride, about how many years ago now? 22 years ago.
Yeah, 22, 88, 22.
22 years ago.
Yes.
So, where are you coming from? Before 88 and after 88? Can my listeners get to meet you?
Where am I coming from? I got into this university in 1982. Was here for 6 years to 1988. Finished.
What was the secondary school like?
Oh, okay. You want me to go back there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I went to a primary school somewhere in Jos, somewhere near Jos, Miango, Kent Academy.
Okay.
And it's 25 miles out of Jos. It's a missionary American primary school.
Okay.
And my parents are my father was a diplomat then, so they were traveling all over the world, and they just sent us to this boarding primary school. And I was there for 5 years, and then I later on went to secondary school in the mid-70s, from 75-6 to 81, thereabout. And that was Project Women Girls College, Oyo, in Oyo State. And then I went to, I went to ABU briefly, SBS in 81, and then I came to UNILAG in 82. And from 82 to 88, I studied architecture, got 2 degrees as a standard. Then I went to serve from 88 to 89 to 90. I was serving. Then I came back to UNILAG to get a master's in construction management. Okay, you didn't know about that.
No, I didn't.
So I came back to UNILAG for 9 months to 1 year to get a master's in construction management, and then after that I was thrown into the market, job market, and that's basically for my educational background.
Okay. Thank you. It indeed had been a long journey. But sometimes I wonder, after all that education, how come you left it?
I've always had a passion for Nigeria. I believe, well, it also comes from my parents, because my father was a diplomat, and they always insisted in us understanding where we came from. You're Nigerians. You must be proud that you're Nigerians. I grew up speaking my dialect, not even my dialect, and that we conversed in the house in my dialect in English. So I had this strong sense of national identity. I guess that's probably very common with diplomatic kids. You live abroad and you're always trying to find where you belong. And so my parents, I guess, put that there at a young age, and it grew with time.
Okay.
It grew with time, and 5 years ago, I just said, I was born in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
If I wanted, in fact, when I finished serving, a lot of my colleagues would say, "Oh, come to the States, come to England. What are you doing in Nigeria?" And I'm like, I have work to do here.
Okay.
I have work to do here.
Interesting. Now, you wrote a letter to the readers in your book. Can you let my listeners look in onto the letter?
Can I read it?
Oh, sure, why not?
It's a letter to you, dear reader. Dear reader, I'm writing this letter to you to tell you my story. Let me first of all give you some insight to my background. My name is Moyo Aliu Ahil Eze. I was 19 years of age and the only child of my parents when disaster struck my family. My father had spent millions of naira building a lovely house in Ikoyi, a highbrow area in Lagos. His primary concern was to provide a comfortable and secure environment for my mom and me. With the security problem in Nigeria, he figured that the best he could do for his family was to create a haven of some sort in our Ikoyi home, and he did just that. We had everything any Nigerian family would want and more. Anything I needed, my parents provided. Nonetheless, I wasn't spoiled. My mother made sure of that.
Interesting. Of course, I know that the letter goes on for about 4 more pages. But can you summarize the letter?
Well, the letter just talks basically about a young Nigerian whose parents provided everything for him. He was doing his university abroad. He comes back home and is going to watch a football match in his friend's house, gets in the car, and these 2 young Okada riders stop by and shoot him.
Okay.
He forgets the car broke down. It stopped, and then he now realized that they installed a security device into the car, and he didn't know how it worked. So he was walking back home when these 2 young men now stop and shoot him in the abdomen and in the leg. They steal his iPod, his phone, his money, and they dash off as quickly as they came. And here he is in a pool of his own blood, close to his home, with no help in sight. He drags himself to the gate, he bangs on the gate, and he realizes, the security man was in the back doing some work for his father before he left. So he now tries to drag himself back to the car, and that's when a good Nigerian Samaritan drives past, sees him, picks him up, puts him in his car, and this good Nigerian Samaritan goes to 4 hospitals, and they didn't take him in. So he comes back to the site, hoping to scout the area, hoping to find who the young man was or is, and that's when Arume called Arume's the young man's friend. So he had called his friend several times. I found on the third account that's when the Okada man picked up the phone, and that's when his friend realized that there was something wrong. So he now called Arume, drives to the house, sees all the blood and everything, calls the father of Muyo, and Muyo's father comes out. While they're outside, the good Samaritan drives back with Muyo, and Muyo's almost passing out. So the father, he now explains to the father what has happened. Muyo and Arume and Muyo's dad run to the car, see Muyo, and couldn't believe it was him because it was a sight to behold. Dirt, blood everywhere. They rush the family clinic. Of course, by the time they get there, Muyo was brought in dead. And it was the family doctor that now told the father that your son has passed on. And the father was just so heartbroken. He cried, asking, how could this have happened? I had so much money. And Muyo now says in the letter that, look, with all my father's money, all I needed was for a hospital to work, to function in Nigeria.
Well, that was what I was going to say. That, well, the letter is like chronicling the ills here.
Yeah.
Of course, one, security in his car. He didn't have to have security in his car.
Yes.
If all things were working well.
Yes.
Two, the gate. He was knocking the gate. They didn't hear because the generator was on.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, that was what I got reading through the book.
Yes.
Three, the hospitals were not working.
Yes.
Now, with all of this, you're still asking us to be positive about Nigeria. Isn't that a contradictory thing you want us to do?
Well, every country has problems. Every country has problems. I believe that we were born in Nigeria for a time such as this. We just need to get creative in the way we solve our problems. If I tell you today that in America, that 35 million Americans live below the poverty level, would you find that difficult?
No, I won't.
Oh, okay, but a lot of Nigerians would. 80% just live just a little bit above the poverty level. 80 million just live a little bit above the poverty level in a prosperous nation like America. So they have problems too. 135,000 children take guns to school. Point being, they have problems too. Now we just keep broadcasting our own problems. I'm saying no. What is responsibility all about? Responsibility is about you seeing a problem and saying, I'm going to do something about it. I've written a book, and I wrote this book because I got tired of the way things were in Nigeria. I said, we all complain. Look, the corrupt people and the wicked people and all the people that are making this country what it is today have said, this is their agenda. They're going to maintain the status quo, and they're pursuing it with a passion. You have to respect them. They know where they're going. The issue is where the men and women of goodwill are going. When I started writing this book, there was a quotation I came across. It says, even with Trump in any society where men of goodwill keep silent. Moral crisis. I said, look, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to decide, I'm going to take responsibility for Nigeria. This is where I'm taking Nigeria to. If you want to take this riding with me, fine. I put the blueprint is this book. This is our roadmap. This is our game plan. This is where we can go. This is where I'm taking us to as a nation. I'm playing my own part. You don't have to be in government. If you're in government, better still, but you don't have to be in government. Do what you can do where you're at. And it's all about responsibility, personal responsibility. And I talk a lot about the little things you can do. I don't know if I should go.
No, but hang on. You were talking about information overload. Now, if we have information overload and we're to read 2 books in one, explain.
Okay. If you notice, the book is very easy read. It's got illustrations. It's got proverbs upside down. So you don't have to read everything in one sitting. Take it. Read a chapter at a time. There are 44 chapters. There are about 44 chapters. Take a chapter a day. Within 1.5 months, you finish reading the book. And then start practicalizing the things that are in the book. If you really want, you can, in one sitting, you can just turn the book upside down, just read the African proverbs and say, okay, I'm only reading the African proverbs today. So you can read the book whichever way you decide you want to read it. So it's like you don't feel, oh, this is just too much coming. Take a chapter a day. In your office, get your colleagues around, when you have your morning division, take a chapter, talk about it. In the family, when you're having your morning prayers or evening devotions or whatever it is, take a chapter, read it, discuss it with your children, and say, this is where we're going as a nation. What can you do about it? What can I do about it? There's one other thing that also when I started writing this book, I asked myself this question: if the future of Nigeria was dependent on me, what would I do? What can I do? What must I do?
Okay.
If the future of Nigeria is dependent on me, what can I do? What will I do? What must I do? And that I kept asking myself that question continuously, and that the answers are in this book. And I keep asking myself that question. Anytime I see a problem, I'm thinking solutions. What can I do about this? What can I do about this? I don't talk about the problem, I talk about the solution. What can I do about it? And your brain will come up with a solution. The things that we focused for too long on our problems. Everybody has problems. Every nation has problems. Let's begin to focus on what we can do about it at your own level. What can I do about this? What can I do about this? And because I know most of us blame our leaders and government, I said, okay, what can I do about it? And I'm not in government, so what can I do about it as a private citizen?
Dear listeners, this is still your program, Science World. In the house this morning, I have Olaboludele Simoyan. Now, the last name, what? The meaning? I keep asking myself while I was reading the book.
The full form is actually Ishidimoyo. And it means I choose faith.
Oh, okay. And the children call her Auntie Bolu. Remember, Science World is your interactive program. So please call us on 01 89 81 031. 01 89 81 031. Or you can send in your text messages to 0802 328 9085. 0802 328 9085 or 0805 885 2065. 0805 885 2065. Now you have a passion for children, because I know that the children calls you Auntie Bolu. How did that start? Of course, this is not targeted. The book is not for them.
The book is for Nigerians. It's for Nigerians. But in any nation, it's the youth that will run with the vision.
So that's true.
But the book is for every Nigerian. You can pick it up and can identify yourself somewhere in the book. Well, during my youth service, I did. My primary assignment was in the local government, but there was nothing to do. It was in Ibokoda, somewhere in Ondo State. Okay. And we had our secondary assignment, or our personal contribution to the community. We taught in secondary school, so I taught geography. But then I now contributed something to the community. I designed and put up a playground for the children. If you saw the look on the faces of those kids when I finished, they had never seen anything of the sort. They were all over the place. So I can say that's where I actually started working with children. And then I came back my church. I now joined the children's department, and over the years, last 22 thereabout years, I've been working with children, with the youth, and that's basically my name, like you said, was Olaboludele Simoyan, but I'm better known as Auntie Bolu, the voice of the Nigerian youth, crying, calling out for a great new Nigeria.
Dear listeners, we'll be back after this time out.
The day you met me, boy, the touch of love was amazing. In a blink we got connected. Na 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 na. Talk to me the way you did first. Yeah, was so politely. Touched me with the morning smile. And from that day, I'm thinking about you. Boy, you push my mind so.
Dear listeners, this is still your program, Science World. In the house is Auntie Bolu, of course, Olaboludele Simoyan. And she says it means I chose fame. I hope that's correct.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Am I on to Science World?
Yes, you're on to Science World. Can we meet you as well?
Yeah, this is my from the University of Lagos.
Thank you.
Okay, I have Olaboludele talking right now.
Okay.
She just wrote some things within me, and I don't know if I can get to know her as a person and probably talk to her and all that.
Definitely. You can, if you call any of the numbers we'll give you at the end of this program, or you send in your text message to any of those two numbers, you'll definitely get our contact details, and then you can meet her one-on-one. Are there other questions?
No. I think when I get our contact, I can always discuss with her and some other issues.
All right then. Thank you very much. We appreciate your call. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Dear listeners, you can still send in your SMS to us 0802 328 9085 0802 328 9085 or 0805 885 2065 0805 885 2065. Now, Auntie Bolu, thinking in reverse, why, looking through your book, I did not see a back cover? You know, the usual back cover where you see the picture of the author and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Is it still part of thinking in reverse?
Yeah, it is. I just, like I told you, I just want people, immediately you pick up the book, it challenges your basic assumptions. Oh, a book can actually be 2 books in one. Oh, the book can actually have things written upside down. The only way we're going to get out of where we are as a nation is for us to begin to think out of the box. We must come up with crazy ideas. We must come up with ideas that are unique. We must come up with ideas. The Americans, the Europeans, they have solved their own problems their own way, that suits their own environment. We have to come up with Nigerian solutions to Nigerian problems. We can't just import ideas and then force it on our environment. So we must come up with Nigerian solutions to Nigerian problems. And that means thinking out of the box. It's not going to be done the normal way. And that's what the 8th Wonder is all about. Doing the extraordinary. Doing things that wow people. People meet you and they can't figure you out. Because you're coming up with all sorts of ideas, all sorts of things from different angles. That's the idea, the 8th Wonder of the world. And that's what I'm building Nigeria into. And I'm calling as many Nigerians to join the crusade and do whatever you need to do to take Nigeria to the promised land of the 8th Wonder. It's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be a fun journey, but it's going to be challenging. There's going to be a lot of work, hard work.
Talking about the ride, I was reading through the papers, and I saw this little bit by the side. A social crusader that has decided to take a bus ride enlightening people about the eagles. And this same person is Auntie Bolu. How did you come about that? Suddenly you're a social crusader, you're a writer, and you want us to believe in the Nigerianness of well, whether Super Eagles makes it or not. But now they crashed out. What are we going to do?
Well, I'll keep my own end of the bargain. I said I was going to ride for each round. I started with riding in 40 buses on the 11th of June, just before the first match, and I rode in 11 buses, spoke to the people, and then prayed for the Super Eagles. What my commitment to ride the remaining for each round, I would add 10 to it, making 50 for this next round, which is going to be tomorrow. Sometime in September and October,
it will be launched. And the book will be for sale towards the end of the year?
No, second half of the year.
Second half of the year. Okay. So that means from next month, if I walk into UNILAG bookshop, I'm likely going to get it.
Maybe not early next month, but let's just say the
second half of the month. Okay.
It's just from the press, so
I hope Auntie Bolu has answered your question. Now, this book, because I'd gone through the book, is filled with African proverbs.
That's correct.
And 2 questions came to my mind. This person I know is not your typical Niger babe.
Excuse me?
Where did you get these proverbs from?
All over the place. I've been collecting data for quite a long time. I always knew I was going to do something connected to Nigeria, but I just didn't know when. I actually was waiting for the right time.
Okay.
And the right time never comes. 5 years ago, I got tired with the Nigerian situation, and I just said, for all it's worth, all the plans, all the books I've been buying, the data I've been collecting, the African proverbs. If I see an African proverb here, write it down, buy books, anything that has anything to do with Nigeria, I've been buying over the years. So like 15 years. From when I finished serving to the time I started writing the book. So I just put all those things together, and then with each chapter, the African proverbs upside down, I just put it in. It doesn't have to go with the context of the chapter, but if it's at the beginning of the book, it does have some relationship with what is in the text.
Okay.
Each chapter.
Interesting. Now, why did you decide to put the proverbs upside down to the real context of the book?
Well, I did that because I wanted you to also challenge your thinking. Change the way you're thinking, change the way you see things, change the way you perceive things. I wanted you to be able to take the book and say, okay, look, I don't even want to read the text of the book today. I just wanted to read the African proverbs. So you take it upside down, and you just read the African proverbs, and you're reading another book. So you can actually have maybe 4 books in this book. 2 the major books, and then the African proverbs is a minor book.
Now, I just want to test you. There are some I found very funny. You'll explain. The first one says, the monkey cannot be a fair judge in the affairs of the forest.
Because as we all know, the monkeys always come up with all sorts of pranks.
Alright, the second one says, clever people don't pack firewood together.
Clever people don't spark firewood together.
No, because you see, I know I'll get into trouble explaining this to my children. Oh no. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. My name is Ronke. I've been listening to your program and I really enjoyed the program, especially the past program, which you said the monkey cannot be a judge in his own forest.
Thank you very much, sir.
I think it's a fantastic lesson. Bolu, honestly, you know, I'm sure you saw what happened yesterday in the House of Rep. You saw it?
No, there was no light.
But you were on the paper, so she saw the paper.
I saw the papers.
Bolu, I think that's a fantastic lesson in legacy that our House of Rep has left us. And that lets you know that, I mean, what are they charging? I mean, what are these guys up to? I think it's the worst shame, you know, for any leader, for the elders of this country. It's the worst shame. They have not left the Nigerian youth in any lesson at all. But I really want to commend you. Commend your zeal for the Nigerian youth. Commend you in what you are doing. I really wish everybody will go ahead and support you. And I think this is the time for the Nigerian youth to begin to rise up and beginning to take our future into our hands. And one more time, I want to commend the science world for bringing you on board and bringing you to the front burner of what's going on in this country. Thank you very much and God bless.
Thank you very much, sir. We're grateful for that. Thank you. Dear listeners, it's still your program Science World. We'll be back after this time out.
The following is a commentary reflecting the views of Science World. When a soccer star falls, it may be great acting. An Ivorian forward cried out in apparent agony, covered his face with his hands, and dropped to the turf with a thud in the warning minutes of his team's 3-1 loss to Brazil at the World Cup. A little push. That was all it took for Keita to fall to the turf, as if he had been doused with pepper spray. The referee punished Kaka with a yellow card, his second of the game, forcing his ejection and leaving his team a man down for the rest of the game. Many who saw replay wondered whether Keita's fall was the tournament's latest example for what officials call simulation. Much of the flopping, flailing and falling in soccer is little more than diving to the turf in an effort to dupe the referee. If successful, the diver could be awarded an unimpeded kick from the point of the infraction, or, if it occurs in the penalty area, in front of the goal, a penalty kick from 12 yards. Fans are already seeing as much bad play acting as tricky dribbling during the World Cup in South Africa, despite efforts by FIFA to punish divers. Some of the best players in the world crumple under imaginary contact to win a penalty or rise in seeming pain to run the clock down or give their teammates a breather. In his first game of the tournament, a German midfielder tumbled during his team's opening game against Australia. Indeed, no foul was called. Instead, for his ruse, he was punished with a yellow card. The German tumbled and Keita's pantomime did not affect the outcome of either game. Germany and Brazil easily won their matches, however, with so few games, and with goals at a premium at this World Cup, an erroneously awarded penalty or unjust suspension could prove decisive. According to FIFA's laws of the game,
attempt to deceive the referee by feigning injury or pretending to have been fouled are punishable by a yellow card. However, it can be difficult at full speed with only the naked eye and no video replay to consult. For a referee to spot the difference between a foul and a phantom, referees say that it is difficult to penalize a player for simulation because it's akin to calling him dishonest. Sometimes simulation is so transparent that it more resembles variety show than world-class soccer. Referees must be close to the play and have the right angle and clear vision to make the correct call. It requires good positioning and communication between the referees and his assistants on one each sideline. 3 years ago, FIFA started a referee assistance program to train officials to spot dives. Before the World Cup, FIFA's Technical Study Committee provided referees and assistant referees with scouting reports, including video that highlighted teams with a reputation for simulation. Being a good diver may help a player get an occasional call, but when he earns a reputation as a cheat, it can be difficult to erase. Players and referees say they know which players go down too easily, but they're reluctant to identify them. However, defenders and forwards agree that diving will be hard to eradicate as long as players get away with it. And that's the end of the commentary. Have a lovely day.
Dear listeners, we're still together on your program Science World. Remember, keep calling us 0189811031 0189811031 or keep sending in those SMS 0802-328-9085 0802-328-9085 or 0805-885-2065 0805-885-2065. Auntie Bolu, you have a message. It says, "Hi, Auntie Bolu. The wonder of Nigeria, how do you do?
Thank you.
You don't just want to say with your crazy ideas for our nation. You got me involved in your dream. Thank you." And his name is Renzi Bernard. Don't turn me a cow.
Hi, Renzi. He's actually supposed to have been on the show today.
Oh, okay.
With me.
Well, you heard commentary on sports. Now, with the bus ride for the Eagles, what brought that about? Do you really love football to that level, or is it still this same passion for Nigeria that is driving you?
Yes, it's the same passion for Nigeria that's driving me. I know that Nigerians love football. I mean,
actually, those are one of the times we come together as a nation.
That's the point. You hit the nail on the head. Because see, even the cover design of the book, I used football analogy to say a story, and the story is basically that we must begin to think together as a nation, work together as a people, build together, the eighth wonder of the world together, then we can celebrate together. Now, because I know that as Nigerians, football brings us together in unity and agreement, I decided, let me play my own part. Let me inspire the Super Eagles in the way I know how to inspire them. Let me do something extraordinary so that they can go to the World Cup and do something extraordinary and bring the World Cup back home.
Thank you. So, dear listeners, if you see someone in your bus from UNILAG to Yaba tomorrow, trying to inspire, well, maybe not the Eagles now, but inspire us, don't be afraid, don't be put off, just listen and get something out of all she has to say. Now, let's go back to our nation, Nigeria. Of course, the reason why we're here. Over the years, we've had several developmental plans. We've had, there was a time we thought everything will come together in the year 2000. For the very religious, they thought the world would come to an end. But then everything was good house 2000, good road 2000, light 2000. Suddenly 2000 crept in on us. And we shifted, as we usually do, to 2010. And now we're in 2010. And we're still not getting it. So we went from developmental plan to Vision 2010 to the Heart of Africa project, to Vision 2020, and the big question, which you'll answer, how feasible is that? And suddenly, in the year 2010, we're moving to the eighth wonder of the world, courtesy Antibolu. Thus far, how far with all of these developmental plans?
Well, the problem is that from each time government changes, there's no continuity. So one government comes up with one plan, another government comes up, dumps that plan, and that's been the progress over the years. But this is a private initiative.
Okay.
And I've not only I've put my whole being into it. It's what I'm committed to. It's where I'm taking Nigeria as a nation. I'm saying this is what I'm going to do. If you want to take this ride with me, take it with me. Be a part of it. You can go on the blog and read excerpts of the book that's on the blog. Be a part of it. There's something you can do. And I'm very, very emphatic about talking about doing the little things that you have control over. Okay. Start with the little things. Start with the little things. Become solution oriented. Don't trash your trash. You don't need anybody to call you to come and trash. There's so much litter all over the place. In a university environment like this, you expect it to be sparkling clean. No, but it's not. The thing is that you must take responsibility for your rubbish. And when you see somebody else dumping pure water, plastic bottle on the floor, tell them, please trash your trash. If the person doesn't pick it up, you pick it up and put it in the dustbin. Let's begin to set the example. Wherever you are, the little you can do to create change. And like a little stone dropped into water, it's going to have a rippling effect. They said that evil is contagious, but good is also contagious. And as people begin to see that some things we will not tolerate, once people will begin to see that another Nigerian will not tolerate, take for example, somebody was on his mobile phone yesterday and in the bus, and he was saying we were at Agidimbi. No, we were at Abafemi Awolowo in Keja, and he now said that he was in Oba. When he finished the conversation, I said, Haba, how you can tell that kind of lie? You know, and he was making, but you know, I said, look, we need to tell the truth. When we had the problem of Yajiwa's illness and government was just lying to us, telling us all sorts of lies, I said, it starts from where you are right now. That lie that you just told, that's what those people in government were doing when they were where you are. And he went on, but the point was made. The point was made. Next time he's going to think twice about telling a lie in public. I mean, I don't understand why people will be lying on their phones in public. It's shamelessness. So I'm talking about the little things you can do. Use humor to diffuse people's, when they lie, use humor to diffuse it. There are little things you can do. Start with those little things. Don't trash your trash. Encourage other Nigerians to trash their trash. Become solution oriented. When you see a problem, don't just complain about it. Do something about it.
Thank you. You have this message. It says, do we need this National Assembly when we already have a Senate? It says Ghana does have, but they're making progress. I think that's the branch is just there to practice boxing, and we're paying them for boxing. She says she's coming from UNILAG. Okay. So the question is, do we need the National Assembly when the Senate is there? Ghana have their own, but our own, are we paying them because they're boxers? Are we paying them because they're making laws for us?
I honestly think that we even need to resit and rethink how our political structure is. We have to find something that works best for us as a nation. Okay. And I'm not saying I have the answers, but I'm saying I want to challenge Nigerians. We've been running this presidential system for quite a while. Each time we come back from military regime, we go back into this presidential form of governance. And I'm saying, I don't know what will work out. Maybe we need to scrap the state. Maybe we need to scrap the national, I don't know. I'm just saying, we need to begin to think other ways of government, other forms of government. Now, like I said, I don't have all the answers, but I have some answers. And I believe that as more of us begin to think of answers to our nation's problems, solutions will begin to come forth. And then we can take an idea from here, take an idea from here, put it together, and then it becomes the Nigerian form of government. I talk in the book, there's a part in the second book that I talk about different. Well, I talk about Nigeria comes up with a form of government they call it e-government. Please let me just repeat it and read it. It is fine. I talk about EQ government, and I talk about General Gowon had talked about us as a nation coming up with a political, or he calls it, this will be an entirely different arrangement that will be peculiar to Nigeria, that hasn't found its way into the political dictionary, because it's something that we will design and create by ourselves. That will work. It's a system of governance that will work for us as a people. That's what we need to come up with. And I talk about that as, I call it the EQ government. There's the EQ economy, there's the EQ agriculture, EQ media. It's just a different form of government.
For us. By us. Yeah. Now, one big question. We've seen people with good ideas, and over the years they fizzle out. What are you doing, Antiboli, to make sure that this, your new, bold effort does not fail? One. And then just one last word, because we're running short of time.
I put my whole heart, my whole life, my whole being into this.
Okay.
And I'm running with it.
Okay.
And I'm doing everything that I can do, and that's why I'm here on this program as your guest. Whatever I can do to ensure that the word gets out there and people have an idea of what they can do. Start with the little things, the things you have control. Take personal responsibility. Don't blame anybody. Nigeria's weight is because I didn't do anything about it on time. You didn't do anything about it. You didn't do anything about it. I have taken personal responsibility. My country is not going to remain the way it is because I am doing something about it. I'm taking personal responsibility for what my nation is, and I'm taking it to the promised land of the 8th wonder. That's my last word.
8th wonder. Ooh, I love that. I thought there were 7 wonders, but now Nigeria is going to be the 8th wonder.
Yes.
Dear listeners, it's been wonderful 1 hour together with you, and Olaboludele Simoyan, popularly known and called Antibolu. It's been nice having you.
Thank you very much. It's been nice.
I have been privileged to have on this program this amazing. She is an architect, she's a writer, she's a social crusader, she's pro-Nigeria. Everything pro-Nigeria, and she's got this spirit of we can do it. It's beautiful having you. Dear listeners, it's been wonderful having you. To our man on the controls, thank you very much. Tony Okola, well, thank you for the news. It's been wonderful having you again this morning. Dear listeners, my name is still Ronke Samuel. We'll be back definitely this time next week. Have a fun day today, and God bless you. Thank you.
Gonna get easier.
Going to the dance floor. Dance. Hip hop. Break. Rock. And drums.
Let's see what all the fuck is about.
This is Alicia Keys. Welcome
103.1 FM, Nigeria's first university radio station.
Stop it down!